Hello and welcome everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Formula Racing League. Today we'll be taking a ride with the Masters of ACC in round 6 in Brands Hatch. Before we kick off, in the com box you can hear me, Kluby, the Speediot, and I guess let's get into qualifying. The guys just started to go out on track. And they are already putting their first laps in. After last week's great finish from Ivanov, he finished way ahead of P2, extending his championship lead. He currently has 195 points in the championship, closely following is Davy Hill, who has 186, and coming in on the podium is Zoranovic, who has 170. Also, it's a great opportunity today for Nico Veldman to catch up with his 165 points. Today's race will be quite rainy, so it will be just as interesting to commentate as to drive on the track today. I'll be really interested to see what show they put on today. By the way, how is everybody today? Well, we are at it. Some people have already started setting lap times. The first 12 minutes, Pro-Am drivers will go and set lap times. First lap time starts with 1 minute 30s. Oh, and we can see Grignetti doing some drifting in the back, slid the back end. That definitely didn't do any good to his lap time, but he definitely has to adjust his driving style to the weather conditions. It's not easy to drive in wet conditions around Brands Hatch, especially because of the elevation changes and tricky corners. I hope the sound is okay, because sometimes I have problems with that. So already 5 minutes, 6 minutes into qualifying. Nearly all of the Pro-Am drivers have set a lap time. And all of them are trying to improve. While we again take a ride with Grignetti. He still struggles to find some grip around this track. And it is definitely not easy. You can see him missing the apex, still trying to find his lines. Currently, we have 20 people racing today. Well, we take a ride with Simon Turner, an Englishman who is racing at his home track. By the way, what is your opinion on Brands Hatch? Because personally, it's my second favorite track based in the UK, after Silverstone, of course. One of the best tracks of all time, in my opinion. This 2.34 kilometer track. Yeah, 3.4 kilometer track. It's quite interesting to drive on, and it always brings some quite nice racing action, if I'm honest with you. Oh, it seems like the Ferrari struggled to gain some grip as well by Grignetti cannot speak. Improves his lap time after he adjusts or picks up the pace with this rainy weather. So we are taking another lap with him. It seems he's trying to set an even faster lap time. He's going for it lap after lap. I mean, it's kind of reasonable. The tires won't degrade as fast, so it's quite fine to stay out on those tires and set faster and faster laps. And of course, we don't know how much fuel he's carrying, so he might overfueled a bit, and now that he lost a few liters, maybe 2-3, he can get a bit faster lap time. And it seems like he does improve a bit, but he doesn't improve a position. He improved 0.3 in that lap. He's not stopping there. Well, the current fastest lap time is 1 minute 29.38. Now we switch to Peter Davidson, or Jason Janssens, as it seems. He's currently P5, and he stops again after setting a faster lap time. Only 9/10, nearly a second behind current provisional pole position for the Pro-Am category. And in 50 seconds, the Pro category can roll out on the track and put on some lap times, and then we can know who takes the pole position for the race. So Peter Davidson still trying to set a faster lap time than his previous. It looks like he's struggling with grip as he's not hitting the lines he wants to. It seems like he cannot improve. Now he's off the track because the Pro category drivers have started to set lap times, at least go on their warm-up laps. Doon is already out. Seems like she's already up to pace. Or at least close to being up to pace. We can see the Formula Racing League drivers on the track as well. But it seems like Adone will be the first one who will set a lap time. Still warming up the tires. Now, here it comes. Starting the first lap. The first fast lap. Really nice track usage. And she doesn't seem to be struggling with grip at all. Evening. Gutted not racing. Should have headset tomorrow, so all good for next week. By Michael Ford. It's good to hear. And good evening for you too. I think we can get a much better angle on this one. So currently coming up to the last corner, the Clark curve, and sets lap time just a bit slower. Ivanov already set a lap time at 1:28.6. He's already 0.3 of a second ahead of P2 for now, so he claims provisional pole position. But nothing's decided yet. And I think Davy Hill might be able to push him off that provisional pole position and claim it for himself. I mean, he definitely has to if he wants to keep battling for that championship. And if not, he has to have a hell of a good racing pace. So still taking a ride with Grigory Ivanov. He's coming up to the Clark curve as well, and does he set a faster lap time? Yes, he does. He improves by 0.4 of a second, ladies and gentlemen. But closely follows Kashetarash. Sorry for the pronunciation. Still having to get used to the names. Only my second time commentating this league. Valmachina is out as well, currently sitting in 6th position. and trying to get better. It's currently going to Sureties. Into the drop and up to the Hawthorne Bend. Then Westfield. Sheen's Curve. And last but not least, Sterling's Bend. Then under the bridge and goes through the Clark Curve, finishing the lap. Let's see if he can get a better lap time. Maybe put himself into the top 5. No, he cannot. Seems like he'll be in P7. He's probably preparing for his next lap, as there is still 5 minutes left in qualifying. So nothing's decided yet, but in my opinion, Grigory Ivanov has quite of a lead. He's already 0.5 of a second faster than P2 on qualifying lap. So it will be definitely a challenge to overqualify him. I think that I messed up the PRT liveries, Yellow Mustangs. Biondo. It might be not synced for me because it was last minute that Nico told me that I should be commentating. Because I completely forgot about it and we didn't talk about today a week ago, so. But it's still completely my fault, so I'm sorry about that. So with only 4 minutes left in qualifying, some of the Pro-Am drivers are still at the back, just like Dashong, who is currently P18 in that BMW M4. And Veldman sets a qualifying lap that puts him into P3. And he seems like he's going for another one. He thinks he can still improve, and there's definitely a chance that he does. Well, nearly everyone is out on track from the Pro category. Last lap times will be going on the board. The last few. While Dashong puts himself in P14 just right before Barry Gibbons, who is P13. He seems like he was going off the track. He'll be going for another one. He's not giving up yet. And he can do 1 or 2 last lap times. Well, Ivanov is still out. He's not taking his chances. He wants to set the fastest lap time possible from him. Currently, I think, on a cooldown lap. As he's not using the whole track. Tries to stay out of the people behind him. But now comes up to the Clark curve. Seems like he's not going to the pits, while Kenneth Rees goes back to the pits, and seems like this was qualifying for him. Except if he goes out for another one. But I think he won't be. Well, Moden P6. He's still going for it. And he might have another lap to improve. Last corner and up to the finish straight. Let's see, can he improve? Yes, he does! He puts Davy Hill out of that third position. And also Nico Waldman from P5. And claims third position on the grid. While Davy Hill goes for one last lap. As he is the championship contender of Grigory Ivanov. He tries to be as close as possible to him on the grid. Trying to set up a bit of an easier job for himself. And Ivanov just in time to go for another lap. But I think who we want to watch is Davy Hill. Who's nearly a second faster in the middle sector. As of now. But let's see. And he doesn't seem to be improving. He only improved one place. Up to P3 on the grid. Well, I guess he has to do the hard part of the job on the track. But he was 8/10 of a second slower than his championship contender. That was qualifying, so our grid will be Grigory Ivanov, Kasia Tarash, Davy Hill, Moden, Veldman, Adon, Machina, Raj, Oreshkin, Roche, Gibbons, Gore, Deschong, Bishwash, Grignetti, Turner, Janssens, Pace, Davidson, and Bragg. So let me give you a quick track guide or a track walk. So starting on the straight, we'll be coming up to the first corner, which will be a downward braking zone in the paddock hill bend. Then we'll go for a hairpin in Druids, then a 90-degree corner. Then we go for Surtees. We'll have a drop, and after that we'll go to Hawthorne Bend, then Sterling's, and last but not least the Clark curve, coming up to the start and finish straight. It's quite a tricky track because of the downward braking zones. So now that I've said who will be the first to last. I think it's only reasonable to give a grid walk as well. So as I said before, Grigory Ivanov will be starting from pole position this time. Then closely following Amir Kashetarash in this beautiful Ferrari racing for Formula Racing team. Then another Formula Racing team driver, Davy Hill, who is currently championship second. Then Adam Moden. Then Nico Waldman in the 29 McLaren in P5. Then P6 Andrea Adon. P7 Orazio Machina in the Mustang. P8 the German driver Kenneth Reich in the 75 Aston Martin. Then Andrei Oreshkin in the 134 BMW. Then Jordan Roche in the Honda. I think it's the only Honda on the grid. Then Barry Gibbons, a home track for him as well. Then Jeremy Gore. Then Jake Deschamps from the USA, the number 7 BMW. Then we have Shabhomoy Bishwash. Then Luca Grignetti. Then Simon Turner. Jason Janssens. Rosario Pace. And Peter Davidson, another guy who can claim it as his home track. And last but not least, Simon Bragg in the 55 McLaren. So, as drivers are going on their warm-up lap in the rain, it'll be hard to keep the tire temperatures up as the track is only 16 degrees Celsius. Sorry, the air temperature is 16, the track is 21 degrees Celsius. But it will be still hard to keep these tires up to temperature. It's also raining. But thankfully in the rain, powers are a bit more pumped, so hopefully they won't have any problems with hydroplaning, as drivers usually do in Spa. I've experienced it. I went on a 6-hour race. It was bad. Also in Silverstone. Stream is silent, no car sounds. Ah. Sorry. Yes. I'll give it a bit more sound. I hope it helps. Well, there should be. No, I didn't explain. But thank you very much. So, coming up to the Clark Bend, I think it's called. Clark Curve, sorry. I think we'll take a ride with P1 from the heli camera. Crossing the start-finish line, they get the green. Ivanov seems to have a good start. The back seems like everyone has got away without any collisions. While they go 3 wide in the hairpin. And I think Davy Hill is already up to P2. While Ivanov has already made a gap. What an incredible move. While Davy Hill is neck to neck with another McLaren. I think it's Modern. Modern seems to have done the overtake. Ivanov seems to be comfortable in the wet conditions. Takes first place so far. There was an accident in the back at the start, but I think it was just some bumper banging between the drivers. I can see the Mustang in the back going a bit sideways. They nearly bump each other, but nothing too bad. Well, people have already done their first laps, and Davidson seems to be a bit out of pace. He's fallen off of the pack. Car 72. There didn't seem to be a yellow flag. So this whole race will be wet, 1 hour of driving in the rain. It seems like it's going quite good for Ivanov. Well, in the mid-pack or at the back, we can see Rosario pass, trying to go for an overtake on Dashong. Oh, and Dashong goes off the track. Didn't spins it, didn't. Kicks the backhand, but he loses a position. It's quite hard to keep these cars on the track in these conditions. You have to have quite a high traction control. I mean, depends on the driver, of course. But usually drivers like to have a bit higher setting of traction control in the rain, just to be safe. Pace seems to have done the overtake. The PRT Mustang. Oh! And Dashon goes off the track completely, losing 3-4 positions. Well, we can see a head-to-head battle between Tarash and Roche. Roche has done the overtake. But we can see total chaos in the back. Gibbons is overtaken by multiple people. Took the short end of the stick, and I'm not sure who yeah, it was the Formula Racing League driver who goes sideways, kicks the back end, and nearly causes a major collision. He also made Barry Gibbons spin around. Thankfully, the drivers didn't get any injuries, or I mean, the cars didn't get damaged, so they can go on with their race. They don't have to pit, it seems like. Well, Grignetti is looking at the back end of that BMW and looks for an overtake. He's trying to move in the mirrors, confuse the opponent. Well, we can see Deshong in the background, also moving for an overtake on Grignetti. Pack is pretty close together. The rain equals the cars, and it's all just driver skills at this point. Or mainly driver skills. Well, we can see that Deschamps is all over the gearbox of Grignetti, and he's getting closer and closer, nearly bumping the car ahead. He tries to force out a defensive lane from the Mustang driver, but it doesn't seem to work. The Mustang is just going ahead, trying to attack Oreshkin ahead of him. Oh! Well, I think a Porsche driver went off the track, and Barry Gibbons is again off the track while a BMW spins. Oreshkin spins ahead of Grignetti. Grignetti picks up another position. These conditions are tricky. It's not that comfortable to deal with them. But this shows true driver skill and consistency. While Simon Bragg is trying to get away from the Porsche behind, Janssens also trying to chase down pace. Today's race is more action-packed than Kailami was, if you ask me. Especially because today I actually joined the good server. I'm extremely sorry about that from last time. Oh well, we can see Bragg touching a bit of grass, slid it a bit, and the Porsche is catching up quite fast. Oh, well, we can see an overtake being made by Deschamps on Grignetti. He seems to be done with it, but Grignetti strikes back, and they are side by side into the next corner. The Surtees. Then Pilgrim's drop comes up right here. And then an uphill braking zone and corner. That's why I say this. Oh! And we can see Deschamps again going off the track with that BMW. And that's why I say it's a quite hard track to master. Because there are a lot of different combinations of elevation and braking zones and corners that you have to learn, and there's just a lot to take in. While we go into the Clark curve, we can see Grignetti getting passed by, I think it's Kashetarash, yes, maybe getting better in pronouncing the name. So Kashetarash going forward after spinning it and losing some positions and quite some time. He's trying to catch back up to his contenders. While Rosario Pais is currently sitting in P10. He's having one of the best positions from the Pro-Am category. Well, we can see Grignetti getting passed by both, I think, Deschamps and Gibbons, also Turner. Something has happened to Grignetti. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe his setup, maybe his tire's not holding up. I guess we won't know while we can see the McLaren, and everyone is struggling with grip. Well, Ivanov is going down on the... Ah, okay. It didn't show me that he's spinning, just appeared. So Ivanov is already making his pit stop early. It's most probably one of the best choices as he can make an undercut. Tires don't really matter in the rain. It's kind of negligible. The tire wear or tire degradation is quite negligible for now for a 1 hour race. He's already in last position, but he's already completing his mandatory pit stop while we can take a look at Deschamps and Barry Gibbons' fight. They get quite close. They'll be coming into Surtees. In Surtees, let's see if Deschamps can strike back or Grignetti picks up the pace again. For now, Grignetti seems to be closer to Deschamps than Deschamps to Gibbons. Oh! And Grignetti is moving for an overtake, or at least trying to force out some kind of a defensive lane out of Deschamps. But it did not help. Grignetti just got himself into a worse position. He's losing quite some time. So packs started forming. Packs of 2-3 cars following each other. This is one of the closest ones. There is one ahead, consisting of, I think, Adone and 2 of the cars behind. Also Davy Hill, with Veldman and Rash on his tail. But Davy Hill seems to be keeping up P2 for now, but Ivanov has already made his pit stop. So that means overall he is P3 without, or considering pit stops as well. Oh! And one of the Formula Racing League drivers just drives off the track. The McLaren of, I think, Nico Veldman went off. Yes, it was the 29 car. Did he just... Oh! That car doesn't look intact. He seems to be touching some grass with his tires. He rejoined quite safely, so no problems there. No other accidents occurring. He didn't lose that much time, but he's definitely angry for the positions he lost. He went from P3 to P5. And that definitely hurt, but all he can do is just focus on the rest of the race. And try to get the best lap times in that he can. I think Grigory Ivanov is already catching the last cars. It's good that he didn't have to deal with traffic. That will help him in the long run. While Grignetti is still fighting with Oreshkin. Or not Oreshkin, sorry, Deschamps. Oreshkin is a bit further down. The biggest winner out of this is Barry Gibbons, who is extending his lead to 2.6 seconds as of now. And he's slowly catching Simon Sterner, who's currently P13. He couldn't be bothered by the 2 racing behind him. We're using a bit too much drag there from Grignetti. He's touching some grass. In the gamer community, this is mainly a meme. I mean, now I understand why they don't like to touch grass, why we have a yellow flag in the first to middle sector. I think we should get a replay of that 82 car. I think he just spun it around and in the hairpin. Nope, before the hairpin on the downward sloping corner, and he hits another car. Red McLaren of I don't know who. I think it's 406. At least I think so. Yes, it is. It's 406. So that would be Ivanov. Okay, something's not right here. Okay, I think Ivanov was trying to lap himself back. And then just an unfortunate incident for Ivanov. He crashes into the barriers. And that will hurt his undercut. That could possibly give the opportunity for Davy Hill to catch up in the championship lead, or possibly take over if Ivanov doesn't recover fast. Well, Veldman did his pit stop as well, and Deschung made the overtake on Grignetti finally. What a long-lasting battle between a Pro-Am and Pro. But it's great to see these battles. Drivers advancing with no contact, or at least intentional contact, which is quite nice to see. There's a bigger pack forming up until the car 55, Bragg. So I think the grid is piling up. Station currently quite comfortably holding his lead to Grignetti, and Grignetti just goes off. He couldn't handle the pressure from Cachetarache from behind, the Ferrari behind. And he went in a bit too fast into the Clark curve, going into the gravel trap. He recovered with only one position loss, but I don't think he's happy about it. Well, we can see Ivanov trying to make another overtake and D-lap himself. Now his car isn't completely without damages. It has suffered medium incident, but we'll see how his pace keeps up. He was the fastest man out on track during qualifying and on the race so far. I don't think he slowed down just because of that crash. We can check his lap times. His last lap time was a 1 minute 30. Of course, this one will be a bit slower as he's held up by traffic and he had an incident. Also, his best lap time on the race is a 1:28.7. He goes on the grass a bit, but doesn't seem to be slipping. Didn't pick up much of any debris. He cornered just fine. He gets blue flagged. But that doesn't really matter as he's the fastest car. Or the faster car, as Simon Bragg kicks the back end of that McLaren, losing 4 positions. 4 positions. Down in P15, the Pro-Am driver, who was doing quite good. I'm extremely sorry for him. He was doing quite nice, but consistency is key, and he just kicked the backhand of that McLaren, stepped on the gas a bit too early. He might have been starting to drive out of routine. We know that in racing that's a no-go. He's catching up to Dashong. He has already made an overtake. Or, sorry, did not make an overtake. Rignati is just a bit behind. Thought he was still close to Dashong, but Rignati seems to be out of pace. His tires might have given out, or to be honest, I don't know. Well, we can see Ivanov coming up to Zertes, passing a Mustang. I think the Mustang of pace. He's holding up quite well considering that he had an incident and he already pitted, while Adone pitted as well. So it definitely hurt him, as Ivanov is still last, with 2 people pitting from ahead of him. Seem to have lost a lot of time, which is not exactly great. While we can see an overtake attempt from Janssens, and he goes through with it as Turner goes off the optimal racing line, and again going into gravel or the grass, losing a bit of contact to the asphalt. But he seems to be fine in the start-finish straight, where the 3 people have made their pit stops, and we are nearly halfway through the race. We are 25 minutes in, and we can see, I think, Dashong going around in the background. These drivers are really struggling with grip, and I can definitely understand. He was going into the paddock hill bend. And I think that the car just hydroplaned up under him. He couldn't control it. By the way, if someone is interested in or doesn't know what is hydroplaning, it's water standing on the track, and next to curbs it's quite usual to have some kind of a pit where that water will stay. And if you go... Oh! Well, we can see, I think, Janssens going up the track, and he actually helped Kasia Tarash make an overtake on Bragg with this maneuver. Of course, it was unintentional, but Bragg must be furious at the moment. And I cannot really explain hydroplaning at the moment. I'll continue in a few seconds. Oh. Or I can continue now. Thought that there will be more action. And there is. Kasia Tarash is already trying to move for an overtake. Oh! And Janssens just couldn't keep the grip out of that corner, and opens up a great opportunity for Kasia Tarash to get P10. And I guess karma as Turner overtook Janssens as well. Of course, it was unintentional, but I think it's safe to say it was karma. So, hydroplaning, as I said, there's usually standing water, like, not a lot. It doesn't need to be a lot. That's piling on onto the track. Well, we can see Kajatarash going off the track. I think it was him, but doesn't seem to be too bad. While Simon Bragg is holding up quite nicely against the attacks of Janssens, but they are side by side coming up to the main straight. And it seems to be... Oh! Turner goes around! Turner goes around, and he loses the positions he gained so far. Drops back down to B14. Zarashkin has overtaken him as well. Oh, and Bragg spins it just after Turner spun it. He's also facing some damages on the front of the car, and it was an unsafe rejoin. Davidson nearly rammed in the back of that car. And Turner got his position back. More or less. At least from Bragg. It was a quite unsafe rejoin. I think the stewards will definitely take a look at that. So, back to hydroplaning. Water standing on the track. Car goes on it. And the tire, after a time, it just starts pushing the water, and it acts like a ramp. It will drive, like the front tires of the car will drive on that water, and after that you cannot control the car. It'll be going straight to where it was headed. The best thing you can do at that moment, don't even brake, because no point, you will just spin the back end of the car. Is just get off the gas and try to keep the car as straight as possible, and when you have grip, then you can steer it into safety. So it's quite a tricky thing to deal with, especially during racing. It's quite hard to avoid or predict, while we can see Messina have a huge save. He kicked the backhand by going on the curb a bit too much. He was riding the curb, and he just kicked the backhand, while we can see Raesch making an overtake. Kenneth Raesch, the German driver, goes for an overtake on Messina, claiming P3. It's a podium position, ladies and gentlemen, so far. I mean, I guess we won't know, as people have still not pitted. And in 45 seconds we'll be at the halfway point of the race. And Ivanov is up to P17, so he's gaining some positions. Well, my PC is a bit concerned about its charging for some reason. It's plugged in, so no worries. I hope the stream won't stop, because to be honest with you guys, I'm definitely enjoying the racing action we see today. Raesch is keeping his P3 lead, and I don't know where to go next. I just realized that for some reason it captures my cursor. Okay, now it's turned off. Extremely sorry about that again. I mean, it was really last minute, like 10 minutes before the stream. I got a notification from Nico, and he said, are you still up for the stream today? And I was like, what stream? So it was really a last minute call. But I'm definitely happy to be here, as Kajatarash is making some places up while we can see Oreshkin making his way into the pits with Rosh and Machina. And he'll have to come out soon as well. Okay, so currently taking a ride with Moden, who's riding in P1 as of now. The McLaren driver is trying to keep his pace up. His last time was a 1 minute 30.1, which is a second faster than the driver riding behind him, who is Davy Hill, which is quite impressive. The current gap between them is 23 seconds. While Ivanov is making his way up, he's already up to P15. While Luca Grignetti already made his pit stop, currently up to P17. Not that far off Bragg, I think. Not Bragg. We take a ride with Rosario Pace. Okay, so currently the top 4 hasn't pitted yet, but it may be a good tactic as well, making an overcut on everyone else while Rosario Pace is going into the pits. Making his pit stop from P3. And Ivanov is only up to P15, with the pit stops being done as well, so this is definitely the time for Davy Hill and Nico Veldman to make some kind of a lead. I mean, Grigory Ivanov seemed to be the most confident one on the track with the best pace, but just because of one incident he's down to P15 and he has to fight his way through the grid in only 25 minutes if he can. And it is not impossible, but you have to have a pace that's a second faster. And I think that wouldn't be enough either. Well, he makes an overtake. Quite clean on Pete Davidson. So currently going to Paddock Hill Bend, I think it's called. Yes. Now going through Druids. Then the Graham Hill Bend, Cooper Straight. And comes up Surtees. we can see the last person making his pit stop is Assetto in the Ferrari from P3. He's dropping down the grid quite fast. But continuing our track guide now, he'll come up to Westfield Bend, then the Dingle Bend, and the Sheen Curve. Then Sterling's Bend. Now going under the bridge and going through Clearways and the Clark Curve, leading to the start-finish straight, which is the Brabham Straight. Oh, I learned these corner names like a month ago because I was commentating for Phoenix Sim Sports and I completely forgot them. So I'm not even denying, I'm reading them. But to be honest, it's great practice. I'll definitely stick. Well, we can see Raj trying to make a move on Davy Hill. Trying to get that podium back, which he had a few laps back. All depends on straight line speed now and how well he can manage that slipstream, that dirty air. Neither of the drivers slipped. Coming up to the Paddock Hill Bend. And then going through the hairpin. Still no opportunity for Raj to overtake. Davy Hill is protecting that podium with his life in the 30s. Now coming up to the long straight, it's really important to get a great speed out of this corner, as it will help you a lot. Davy Hill is just trying not to acknowledge that someone is behind him and tries to give his best. But Rash is already peeking out and appearing in the side mirrors as well. Well, Ivanov is up to P14 with only 21 minutes left on the clock. Still a long way to go, but is it enough to even get into the top 10? We can see Raj make a bit of a mistake, misses the apex in Druid. Well, we receive some cheers for Pace, who's currently running in P9. There are some closer battles for P10. I think we'll switch to that one. A bit too much, yes. So, Kajatarash is getting closer and closer to Barry Gibbons, who's fighting for his life in P10. He had quite a bad start, but he's already up to P10, so I guess he can be quite satisfied with that if he can keep that position, as Kajatarash is trying to take it away from him. Well, we can see Some attacking attempts from Rash on Davy Hill. Tries to go around the outside, but doesn't really work. The grip difference just wasn't enough on the outside lane. It's quite bad at the moment, as that debris and water get smashed together, and it's quite slippery on the outside. Just like always. Even without water, it's usually bad. So Davy Hill still running in P3. He's kind of extending the gap behind, but that may just be temporary. Raj just has fallen out of his rhythm for a few seconds. But that doesn't mean he cannot catch back up, because still 18 minutes left on the clock. So Davy Hill coming up to the Cooper Straight. Still has the better exit. Still has some kind of an advantage to Rash. Rash is just there, just on his tail, but not in a position to attack yet. Nearly bumps Davy Hill. Kenneth Rash is just desperately trying to look for an overtaking opportunity. But he doesn't seem to be having one, as Davy Hill is showing us some defensive masterclass today. I hope I did not jinx it, or did not put the commentator's curse on Davy Hill. Now from the outside again, Kenneth Rash. He just cannot make that move from the outside, while we can see a Doan passing a labbed Mustang. It's Grignetti. We switch back to the action between Davy Hill and Kenneth Rash. Rash has a much better lane in that corner, but he did not use the full track. He tries to force out a defensive move from Davy Hill by moving on the inside. Tries to confuse him, showing up in the mirror constantly. Yes. Oh, and now he's moving for that overtake, but he's again on the outside. And in the Clark curve, it's really hard to make that move, and they bang doors. And Kenneth Rash goes off the racing line. He's flashing his light. He's trying to signal that it was an unfair move. He already lost another position. Kenneth Rash is back in P5. While Gore gained a position. And he'll be the next one to shoot his shot for the podium. But Davy Hill isn't the one who's going to give that up. He did not leave the inside lane open, like ever. So going through Surtees. Gora is getting closer and closer. I mean, it's not that big of a surprise. Davy Hill has damage on his McLaren. As we can see, the front bumper is kind of just hanging in there. And the hood is all crammed up. And bent. Well, Ivanov is already up to P11. That means that he's already getting 30 points, but that's still not enough. P1, or currently, Davy Hill in P3 will be getting 55 points. As of now, oh, what's happening? It seems like Kenneth Rash couldn't take the fall. He just wanted to retaliate for that bumper banging from Davy Hill. And it seems like they just opened the door. For Gore. Davy Hill is currently P4. Kenneth Rice dropped to P6. I'm not sure if this was this was the smartest move from him. He lost 2 positions himself. Or only 1, sorry. Only 1. That is still not good. While we can see Janssens kicking the back end of that Porsche, and for not the first time today. And these mistakes keep costing him time and track position over and over again. I guess it's good news for Barry Gibbons, who is claiming P12. He'll be getting 28 points today if he keeps that position. But I think we want to see that incident between Davy Hill and Janssen, Davy Hill and Kenneth Rash again. So here, this is the one that he's trying to retaliate. Yes, he just pushed him a bit off track. I don't think it was intentional. I think he just couldn't keep the car on track, but it was definitely his fault. Then the accident where Rash retaliated. He flashes his lights and he doesn't even plan on braking before hitting the McLaren of Davy Hill. Davy Hill seems to be keeping up quite well. He's still in P4. Nico Weldman couldn't make a move yet. So only 10 minutes on the clock. Ivanov definitely won't be making his pace up to the podium, which is quite sad in my opinion, as he was the fastest man on track. He still is. He has the fastest lap. But because of one unfortunate incident, he loses it all. So Davy Hill trying to catch back up, but that won't be happening anytime soon. While we switch to the battle of Turner and Bragg for second to last position. So Nico Wildman finally caught up to his teammate Davy Hill. And Kenneth Rash is just behind them. So Rash might be still moving for either retaliation or just racing clean, but no! He kicks Nico Veldman off the track, and what is happening? The Honda of Roche spins as well. Kenneth Rash will be in big trouble after this race, after the stewards look at all the incidents. At least he got some screen time. Am I right? So Wildman trying to catch up. And Rash is still in P5. He can still cause some incidents if he really wants to. I mean, hope not. Kenneth Rash is a bit further down. Davy Hill has a 5-second gap. Or a 3-second gap. A 3-second gap. So, through the Brabham or the main straight. Coming up to the paddock hill bend. But it's so sad that Davy Hill couldn't claim that podium today. Oh! And then car 55 spins it, I think. No, just lets people pass. So nothing happened. Oh, no! He definitely spins it. In a quite dangerous place down in the Graham Bend. I mean, Gore will definitely be happy after today. After this podium finish. Especially because he's a Pro-Am driver. He's the best position Pro-Am driver, and currently he is P5 in the championship. He'll be his second podium. He picked up a podium in Kailami as well. So it's quite nice to see that he's picking up some podiums. Or is it just podium on... Yes, it is podium on Pro-Am. Sorry, not podium on the whole race, but podium from Pro-Am. So he'll be having his first win as a Pro-Am category driver. I mean, in the Pro-Am category. And the podium in the overall race. So he'll be scoring some serious points on this day. Well, Sebastian Ruapsam, who is the current championship leader of the Pro-Am category, is not racing today. The only one who is even on the podium is Luca Grignetti, who is currently in the back in 16th position. So Jeremy Gorey will definitely pick up some serious points today, while Grigory Ivanov is making other passes. He's already up to P9 with only 3.5 minutes on the clock, and the race is still not over. So Nico Veldman still trying to fight his way back, at least to P5. I don't think he's gonna retaliate for what Kenneth Raj did. He definitely did not like it, but I don't think he'll be racing dirty just because of one incident, even if he knows that it was completely intentional. I mean, not sure if that was intentional, but seems like he's having problems with the Formula Racing League drivers. And he's again on the tail of Davy Hill. He won't be easy on that McLaren. He'll definitely be pulling some dirty moves if he can. But Davy Hill puts him off the track again, or at least bumps him. And I'm not sure. Is it a good idea? So two drivers still head to head. Oh! And Davy Hill gets spun around again. He'll definitely not be seeing P4 again this race, as there's only about a lap left. A lap and a half. Next one will definitely be last one. Or at least I think so. It might not be, as Moden might go for another lap. Let's see if he does. Adam Moden currently riding P1. Not even sure if he picked up a podium this season or not. Adam Moden did not pick up a podium. He was 9th on the first race. He missed the second one. Then on the third race he was 7th, and then he did not finish 2 times. So this P1 will definitely be boosting his confidence and his points up into the sky. But I do not understand what Davy Hill did after he got a retaliation for a small move. He does one again. We have this saying in Hungary: is it really a good idea to, you know, pull on the lion's, how do you call it? Not mustache, because, you know, lions don't have mustache. So, the lion's whiskers. Getting some help from Google Translate, by the way. Well, I guess he cannot really extend that lead, as Grigory Ivanov is in P9, and he's only 2 positions ahead. He lost out on points big time. Oh, well, we can see, I think, Turner going into the barriers once again. It isn't a good race for him, just like how it isn't for Janssens either. Janssens is also struggling with grip the whole weekend, or the whole race. I just like to call it a weekend for some reason. Because, you know, I'm used to race weekends. While we can see the race winner crossing the finish line. Jeremy Gore picking up his podium as a Pro-Am driver, while you can see Kenneth Rash taking P4 in front of Nico Wellman. Then Bishwash comes in 6th, then Davy Hill, then Kasia Tarash, Grigory Ivanov, Rosario Pace, Barry Gibbons, Andrei Oreshkin, and oh, it's not decided yet! It's a last minute overtake by Janssens and Machina on Oreshkin. Then Peter Davidson, Luca Grignetti, Simon Turner, and Simon Bragg. Well, what a race weekend, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of racing action, a lot to take in during this rainy race. While our pole position couldn't transfer, or couldn't transform, yeah, that pole position into a win because of a bad incident. He still got P9 and the fastest lap. And Davy Hill did not get away because he made some silly moves. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us today. And I hope you get a great time watching the stream today. Hope to see you next time on the Masters of Assetto Corsa Pro-Am and Pro-Am and Pro category. And have a nice weekend and evening. See you next time.